King Louis XIV of France, the Sun King. Louis XIV reigned for over 70 years, from 1643 to 1715, making him one of the longest ruling monarchs in European history. His famous declaration, "I am the state," symbolized his absolute belief that the monarchy embodied the nation. Louis didn't just rule, he turned his court into a theater of his own greatness. The Palace of Versailles, which he transformed from a hunting lodge into a dazzling symbol of royal power, became the stage where nobles were forced to compete for his favor. Every detail of court life revolved around him, from elaborate morning rituals like the lever, where courtiers attended his waking, to grand nightly ceremonies. While Louis expanded France's territory and strengthened its influence in Europe, his relentless wars and extravagant spending drained the treasury. By the end of his reign, the peasants suffered crushing taxes, and resentment toward the monarchy set the stage for the French Revolution decades later. Emperor Caligula of Rome, the mad autocrat. Caligula, who ruled Rome from AD 37 to 41, is often remembered as one of the most infamous rulers in history because of his extreme arrogance and erratic behavior. He declared himself a living god and expected to be worshipped alongside Jupiter, Rome's chief deity. He hosted wild banquets where he reportedly mocked senators and squandered enormous sums of money on personal pleasures. Ancient accounts tell the story of Caligula appointing his beloved horse, Incitatus, as a priest and planning to make it a consul. Whether this was literal or exaggerated propaganda by his enemies, it reveals how disconnected he became from the dignity of leadership. His reckless rule alienated even his closest allies, leading to his assassination after only 4 years in power. Caligula's story is a reminder of how arrogance, mixed with unchecked authority, can spiral into chaos. Queen Marie Antoinette of France, the symbol of excess. Marie Antoinette, Queen of France from 1774 to 1792, became the face of royal arrogance during a time of severe economic crisis. Although historians debate whether she truly said the infamous line, "Let them eat cake," the phrase captured the public's perception of her detachment from the suffering of ordinary people. She was known for her extravagant spending on luxurious gowns, towering hairstyles, and lavish balls at Versailles. Her private retreat, the Petit Trianon, where she played at being a shepherdess while the common people starved, deepened the resentment against her. Marie Antoinette's inability, or unwillingness, to recognize the plight of her subjects made her a lightning rod for revolutionary anger. Her downfall, culminating in her execution during the French Revolution, illustrates the danger of arrogance at the highest levels of power. King Henry VII of England, power above all, Henry VII, who reigned from 1509 to 1547, is remembered as one of England's most domineering monarchs. His arrogance reshaped both his country's religion and its monarchy. When the Catholic Church refused to annul his marriage to Catherine of Aragon, Henry took the unprecedented step of breaking away from the Pope's authority and creating the Church of England, with himself as its supreme head. His personal life was marked by scandal and tragedy. He married 6 times, executing 2 of his wives, Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard, under charges that many believe were politically motivated. Henry's quest for a male heir and his belief in his divine right to rule showed an arrogance that had lasting consequences for England's religious and political future. Emperor Qin Shi Huang of China, the first emperor. Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor to unify China in 221 BC, displayed a combination of visionary leadership and overwhelming arrogance. Convinced of his divine mandate, he sought to make his rule eternal, both in life and death. He ordered vast building projects, including the first version of the Great Wall of China, massive road networks, and an elaborate mausoleum guarded by the now famous Terracotta Army. Obsessed with immortality, he reportedly consumed dangerous mercury-based potions that ironically contributed to his death. His harsh laws, heavy taxation, and disregard for the suffering of his people left a mixed legacy. He laid the foundation for a unified China, but his arrogance and cruelty caused widespread resentment that led to rebellion soon after his death. Tsar Ivan IV of Russia, Ivan the Terrible. Ivan IV, known as Ivan the Terrible, ruled as Russia's first Tsar from 1547 to 1584. He believed his power came directly from God, which justified his brutal and often paranoid reign. Ivan established the Oprichnina, a secret police force loyal only to him, that terrorized his own subjects. Entire towns were massacred under suspicion of disloyalty, and thousands of families were uprooted as Ivan consolidated his control. Perhaps the most tragic symbol of his arrogance was his violent temper, which led to the killing of his own son during a heated argument. This act shocked even his contemporaries and left a dark stain on his legacy as one of Russia's most fearsome rulers. Pharaoh Ramses-II of Egypt, the living god. Ramses-II, who ruled Egypt from 1279 to 1213 BC, was one of the most powerful and ambitious pharaohs in history. His arrogance was reflected in his desire for immortality through monuments. He commissioned countless temples, statues, and colossal monuments across Egypt, many of which still stand today. In many inscriptions, he exaggerated his military victories, particularly in the Battle of Kadesh, portraying himself as a godlike conqueror. While his reign brought stability and prosperity to Egypt, his obsession with self-glorification and the sheer scale of his building projects reveal how far his ego extended beyond the needs of his people. Queen Elizabeth I of England, the Virgin Queen's pride. Elizabeth I ruled England from 1558 to 1603, presiding over a golden age of culture, exploration, and national pride. Yet beneath her accomplishments lay a monarch with a formidable ego and a taste for control. Elizabeth skillfully crafted her image as the Virgin Queen, claiming she was married only to her kingdom. Courtiers were expected to flatter and adore her, and she could be merciless to those who displeased her. Her vanity was legendary. She invested heavily in elaborate gowns and portraits that projected her as an eternal, youthful monarch. While her pride helped project strength during times of conflict, it also revealed her determination to dominate not just her kingdom, but her court. Emperor Nero of Rome, the performer ruler. Nero ruled Rome from AD 54 to 68 and remains one of history's most infamous rulers for his blend of cruelty and arrogance. He fancied himself a great artist and compelled the Roman elite to attend his performances as an actor, poet, and musician, professions traditionally considered beneath the dignity of an emperor. The Great Fire of Rome in AD 64 became a defining moment in his legacy. Although it is debated whether he actually set the fire, his decision to build his lavish Golden House palace on the ruins and his persecution of Christians as scapegoats cemented his reputation as a tyrant. Nero's obsession with personal glory ultimately alienated his allies, and he took his own life after being declared a public enemy by the Senate. King Xerxes I of Persia, hubris on a grand scale. Xerxes I, who ruled the Persian Empire from 486 to 465 BC, was renowned for his ambition and overconfidence. Determined to conquer Greece, he assembled one of the largest armies the ancient world had ever seen. When a storm destroyed his fleet's bridge of ships at the Hellespont, he reportedly ordered the sea itself to be whipped and shackled, an act that epitomized his belief that even nature should obey him. His arrogance led him to underestimate the resilience of the Greek city-states. Despite initial victories, his forces suffered a decisive defeat at the Battle of Salamis, marking the beginning of Persia's decline in its campaign against Greece.